What's up, YouTube Nation? Hey, this is the Lies You Tell with Uncle T. I'd like to thank my subscribers and my new subscribers for tuning in on my channel. And just like always, hit that like button and that subscribe button so that we can let YouTube know that, hey, you feeling some of this material? They'll go ahead and shoot this material out there so more people can hear it. But you know what, though? During this time, I want you to make any type of, if you got any comments or concerns, I want you to tell me down in the comment section so we can talk about this. But today I want to do a follow-up with the last lesson that I did, the 10 signs of a two-faced person. Now we want to talk about how do we handle a two-faced person. You know, how do you deal with that? How you, when you know somebody been talking about you, running off of your mouth, running off of the mouth, just won't keep their mouth off of you. You know, and some of you say, you know, hey, they gonna get these hands. I'm sorry, they gonna get these hands. I mean, they keep running out the mouth, this is what's gonna happen. Or they gonna taste that steel. When I pull that steel out, they gonna deal with that running that mouth. But you know what? That's not gonna resolve the issue. That's not gonna resolve the issue, because you know, by whooping somebody's tail, that's not gonna make them stop talking. They still gonna talk. So how do we deal with these two-faced people? You know, and I see it from the let's say the world side, unsaved, or the world side, or how church folks would say. You know, there's plenty of church folks say, just pray about it. Just pray about it. Well, we can pray about it, but at the same time, how do you deal with it? See, a lot of times when I have learned over the years that when people say sometimes just pray about it, basically that says, I don't know. I don't have an answer for you. So the easiest thing to say is just pray about it, because they don't have a clue as to what you should do. You know, and I want to just go over, I got about, let's say here, about 9 different topics here. About 9 things. And how do you handle a two-faced person? Number 1, you acknowledge that you are dealing with someone who is false and dishonest. That's the first step you should do within yourself, that you need to realize that you're dealing with a dishonest person. A lot of people want to be friends with two-faced people. A lot of people want to be down. You know your homeboy is a liar. You know your homeboy be lying and stuff. He be exaggerating. You know your girlfriend be lying. You know your, oops, I hit my camera. You know your girl be lying about stuff. You know your girl be lying about stuff. Every time I come around, she always running that mouth, always saying something about somebody else. You know your girl two-faced. Not even potential to be a friend. And I don't even understand why, like I said in my last video, I don't understand why, you know, if a person dishonest and you know they're not square dealing, you know that they just false, why would you want to be friends with a two-faced person? Why? I don't understand why. I mean, what benefit? What's the benefit? Just to be friends? Number 2, you should be assertive rather than aggressive when confronting insincere people. If you know someone's been gossiping behind your back, then you should confront them without being hostile or violent. To let them know you're aware, let them know that, hey, I know you've been talking about me. I'm gonna confront you, especially when you've been hearing stuff. And you know, most adults, well, I say adults, if you feel like someone who's been talking about you behind your back, bad mouthing you, you might say, hey man, I'm gonna holler at you. Let me holler at you real quick, bro. Let me holler at you. You know, the word out here, man, I mean, I talked to so-and-so. I mean, I don't know, I thought we were cool, but apparently you got beef with me because I was at such and such event. I was hearing about how you was running me down, how you was talking trash about me, blah, blah, blah. That's how we roll. Now, that's how I roll now. But there might have been a time back in the day, it might not have been like that. You know, hey bro, what's up? I mean, I heard you been running your mouth about me. Hey, what's up? What's up? Because you're gonna quit running your mouth. You're gonna keep your mouth off me, because you're gonna get this whooping. That might have been me 25, 30 years ago. But, you know, I've learned since then, there's better ways to handle conflict, okay? Anytime you got to put your hands on somebody, that's not the way to go. I learned that as years have passed, you know, because anytime you confront a backstabber person, you always want to take somebody with you, because we got some cowards out here. You might take somebody to the side and say, hey, you know, what's up, man? You know, I thought we was cool. You got a problem with me? Hey, tell me. It's good to take somebody with you, because you never know. All of a sudden, the sheriff knocking on your door saying you got a warrant for assault. Assault. The person might say you smacked them, or you put your hands on them. You don't have any witnesses that says you didn't. So it's always good to have somebody around in your corner to say, nah, that didn't happen. Okay. Number 3, be civil towards the person that said the bad things about you. And like I said, be civil toward the person that said the bad things about you, because holding a grudge is allowing the person to become a personal issue to you, and that's emotionally unhealthy. Because a lot of times when you hold grudges against people, it just creates anger, and it gives a foothold for Satan to step in and put thoughts in your head. Every time you see the person, every time you hear something about the person, it makes you want to do things, makes you want to argue, makes you want to do violent things. So we always want to be civil, and we always want to not hold grudges and things like that towards people, because anytime you continually to give hostility, you're giving your power over to the person, you know, because most of the time they're not even worth it. Not even the time, they don't even deserve that type of attention. Okay. Now, number 4 is that try to avoid the person at all possible. That doesn't mean you're scared. For me personally, I would try to avoid the person because I'm scared of what I might do. You know, I ain't trying to go to jail because they smack off and pop off at the mouth and start get crazy at the lips, get slick at the lip. Ain't no telling what might happen. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of times it's good to avoid that person, because if you hot-tempered or anything like that, it's the best thing that you avoid the person, because all they gotta do is say one word, and they're just like the gas, the match that was thrown on the gas and it's on and popping. Okay? You want to avoid that person if at all possible. But sometimes it's not hard. Sometimes it's a family member. Sometimes it's a coworker. What do you do when you got to go to work with this person every day? Most of the time you can't avoid them, but most of the time you can kind of keep your comments to yourself, avoid that person. You be professional if you got to engage. Because we always go to work. We always have coworkers that we don't get along with. There are people on the job that you just really don't like because they have such a negative demeanor about themselves, and they always keep stuff going. That's just the way it is. And they're a backstabber, they're two-faced, and you have to work with these people. And a lot of times, if you learn how to maneuver and how to deal with these people, you'll know, hey, I don't have no conversation. It's strictly business. If you ask me a question, I'll give you the answer. I'll tell you what you need to do. I'll help you in any way possible. That's the end of it. We don't talk about going out of town. We don't talk about how was your Christmas, how was your weekend. We don't talk about nothing. It's just strictly business, because these people are so toxic that you gotta just keep it business and professional. Next one, avoid divulging any personal or sensitive information. How do you deal with these people? When forced to tolerate the company of a two-faced, whenever you're in a presence of a two-faced person, it's a good idea to avoid divulging any personal information. Let's just say, people, they like to talk negatively about others. They don't usually keep secrets. So one, you don't tell your personal information. You don't tell sensitive information. You don't tell that you got a traffic ticket. I mean, something as simple as a traffic ticket. I was speeding coming down I-95, and I got a ticket doing 80 and a 55. Something as simple as that, they'll take that. Or you got your license suspended, and you need your license for your job because you have to do deliveries. But nobody knew your license may be suspended. Nobody knew. Be careful when you share information on the job to these people, okay? And like we said before, avoid being physically aggressive at all costs. You can easily confront a person that I know you've been talking about me. I appreciate it if you quit running your mouth about me. If you have something to say it to my face. Tell me. You don't have to tell a coworker. I mean, I'm an adult. I'm an adult. You're an adult. If I offended you in any kind of way, let me know. If I'm wrong, I'll apologize, and it won't happen again. That's how you have to confront these people. You got to be straight, keep it 100, leave it at that. That's how you confront them. Next one, number 7. Resist the temptation to play the gossip at his or her game. You don't want to stoop to their level. If they gossiping, trying to cut your legs out from under you, let them just do what they got to do. Because if it's not true, everybody will see. And most of the time, everybody knows on the job anyway who the persons are. Everybody already know. So when people say, if you've always been a good worker, been a decent person, and you come to work, or friends know you, and they know how your temperament is, they know your behavior, they know your character. When somebody says something out of the way and said that you did this or said this, they know. They know. That don't even sound like them. That don't even sound, I don't believe that. Soon as they walk out of the room, other people look at each other and say, you believe that? I don't believe none of that. Because that ain't even like them. They don't even do no mess like that. People know. When you got a good character about yourself, people know. You don't have to prove anything. You ain't got to put your hands on them. You ain't got to let a joker know. And if I see you again, you gonna see this 9mm. You gonna see this 357. You ain't got to say none of that. You ain't got to do none of that crazy stuff. You ain't got to be like, when I see that joke again, he gonna get these hands. Or when I see her again, oh, she gonna get these hands. Or she gonna learn today. She don't run her mouth about me. She gonna learn. No, you ain't gotta do all that, because I know that's what you want to do. I mean, I'm just keeping it 100 because that's just how we feel. That's just how we feel, that when people running their mouth, we gotta let them know, you gonna keep that mouth off me. You gonna keep your mouth shut. But it's either that or go to jail, do jail time. Now you get a criminal record, misdemeanor, felony, or you might get an assault charge, or you might get in a fight. Somebody might get seriously hurt. Nowadays all you gotta do is push somebody down, hit their head on the concrete, hit their head on the floor. They die. A couple hours later, go in a coma or anything. You getting charged with murder, or you getting charged with manslaughter. So, when it's all said and done, you look back and you say, man, I wasn't trying to do all that. I was just trying to prove a point. Well, this is what can happen when you're angry. Because when you get so angry because you want to deal with somebody, because they done stabbed you in the back, they two-faced it, that you trust them with secrets, you trusted them with vital information, you maybe trusted them with money, okay? You may have trusted them with your property. You may have trusted them, try to help them out and move them into your house. And you know where I'm going with that. Maybe that person slept with your husband or slept with your wife. Two-faced it. Not only backstabbing, but just real two-faced and backstabbing. Number 8, avoid sharing your ideas, goals, and aspirations with them. And I think we talked about this before. We don't want to share your ideas, your aspirations. We don't want to talk to them about going back to school. We don't want to talk about them about getting a degree, getting certified in this, your goals about doing this and doing that. Keep that to yourself, because for the two-faced, backstabbing person, that's not something you want to do, because they'll pray against you. Always realize that when you talk to somebody about your personal things, your goals about business or anything, you got to be careful who you talk to, because people will pray against you. They will pray against what you're trying to do, because everybody don't want you to succeed. I'm telling you that right now. I've been in business for many years. I had my own franchise for over 20 years. Since 1999, I own my own franchise. And sold my franchise about 21 years. And now I'm doing something different now. People do not want to see you win. Family members will talk about you. Family members want to see you fail. I remember when me and my wife first bought our first house. The first house we ever bought was a starter home. Wasn't much, maybe 1,800 square foot home. Three small bedrooms, a living room and a kitchen. Set on about 4 acres of land. 3 acres of land. Wasn't much. We were so happy. We were just so happy to have that house. And I think at the time I used my military loan. I got out of service. I used my military loan. And I had bought a house, used my loan, purchased a nice crib, brand spanking new. And I was so happy. I wanted to celebrate because God had blessed us. And I invited family and friends. Didn't even have to bring. Only thing I asked that people bring was sodas, cups, spoons, forks, and ice. That was it. I supplied all the trimmings, hot dogs, burgers, pork chops, steaks, chicken. I supplied everything. You didn't even have to bring anything. All I had to do was just bring some drinks, ice, cups, spoons, forks, and paper plates. That was it. When it was all said and done, I was told that some family member said, "Oh, going back home, I done fed them now. Done fed them. We had a good time. We prayed over the house. We blessed the house, and everything was going great. Going back up the highway, family members started talking negative. Talking about, oh, they think they something now. They think they something because they done got them a new house, so they think they all that now. We didn't think we was all that. We were just happy to be able to buy a house. I mean, we were just so happy to buy our own home. We were so happy to be able to use the VA loan. I was so happy to be able to use it to buy our first home. And we were just happy, and we wanted to celebrate and share that with family. And then, here we go. Family member going up the road talking about we think we all that. What does that got to do with anything? I mean, I just opened my doors to my home to you. Share my blessing with you. And then you go back up the road running your mouth. I didn't even confront him. I didn't even confront the person. I just said, oh, well, you know what? There's always going to be family members that don't want to see you win. Don't want to see you succeed. Okay? That's prime example. Last one. Try not to take the negative actions or words of the two-faced person to heart. There you go. You know, you just say, hey, they jealous. They jealous of that situation. They were jealous. I'm not sure why you felt we felt we were all that. We were a young couple at the time. My wife right now of 32 years, not my former ex-wife, held to the no. We were just happy. We were just happy that we had a beautiful home. It wasn't that big, but it was okay. It was nice. It was a nice starter home. It was nice. Since then, we bought another home. We bought a bigger home. You know, we bought another home that's got about 2,600 square feet. You know, and as soon as the kids move on out, we'll probably buy a third home. Just for me and her, you know. But I've learned that people will not be happy for you. Family will not be happy for you. There are some that will, some that are genuinely happy. When you try to share your dreams, you tell people about how blessed, and I even found that out too. You can go to church and tell people what God did for you. Don't think that everybody at church is happy for you. Don't think that everybody at church is praising God that God blessed you. Don't think that. Don't be foolish to think that. It took me a lot of years to learn different things. I love dynamics of church because I've learned people and I've learned how Satan works. Because once you deal deeply in spiritual warfare and you deal with satanic warfare, you really start to understand how the dynamics of the kingdom of Satan works in church, in people, religious folks, saints, the elders, deacons. You understand how things work. And don't be fooled because someone is shouting through the church, running through the church. They over here so-called speaking in tongues and this and that. Don't be fooled. Because Satan can speak in tongues. Satan knows the word. He can quote it backwards and forwards. He quoted to Jesus on the mountain when he tempted Jesus after Jesus was fasting 40 days, 40 nights. He tempted Eve. Have God said, did he really mean to not eat from that tree? Make you doubt the word. He know the word. He know how to twist it. He knows the word. He can speak the truth. Satan does speak the truth to an extent. He'll speak the word of truth to a certain extent, and then he twists it. And you got to understand these things. I guess I have been burned quite a few times. Just like I'm going to do some couple of lessons on finances. When God, how does God bless your finances? How to move God to bless your finances, and how we're going to talk about that, and how being a co-signer is against the word of God. You should never co-sign for anybody. A lot of people didn't know that, but it's in the Bible that you shouldn't co-sign for somebody. You shouldn't take on someone else's debt. But we're going to get to all those things too. But you know what? How to deal with the two-faced person. How do we handle them? You know what? Comment on my section. I love the dialogue with you. I love the comments. Been loving the comments I've been getting, talking to people. Feel free to comment. Give me a shout out. Hey, how do you deal with two-faced people? And everything that I've told you, that's the bottom line, because Uncle T said so.